Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Steve Nicol, Alejandro Moreno, and Frank Leboeuf is with us too, and we'll be answering your questions. I mentioned you had a little quick story. It was my birthday yesterday. I was on my own with the kids. I had all these plans.
Yeah.
And then my husband drove all the way to Stamford, which is quite a way away from where we live, with both sets of car keys. So I was stuck at home on my birthday with the kids. Luckily, they deliver cake by the slice these days. So it wasn't so bad in the end. Yeah.
Wait a second.
What a nightmare.
Hold on. Have you seen your husband since?
I've seen him. Speaking to him, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to get to. Did you let him know that this was unacceptable behavior?
I let his producers know, because he works in a similar role to me, so that they could give him what for on air, and they did.
You just reminded me of a birthday day story.
Tell me.
I actually spent my birthday once sat on the toilet. Because
What, all day?
pretty much. Because
What just happened? How did we get here?
Great.
well, because I had to have a colonoscopy, right? And I decided to be really smart. I thought, you know what? I'll organise it for the day after my birthday, because then I can have a good birthday, and then I'll get it the next day. There was a slight flaw in the plan.
Yes.
Because you've got to take all the stuff the day before.
Which empties your system.
Which empties your system. So that's why, on my birthday, I spent the day on the toilet.
And I can only imagine what was in your system to begin with.
Oh, let's stop there, shall we? All right. For Stevie
Hey,
and
happy birthday! Happy birthday, Kay!
Thanks, Frank. I bet you're glad you joined us, aren't you?
Hey.
All right. For Stevie and Ale, what is the MLS version of doing it on a rainy night in Stoke?
Probably the revs, right?
Yeah, the rest don't help, but maybe going to altitude? Can you go to Denver?
No. No. It's one of two things.
Okay.
Either Denver with altitude, or Dallas with the heat. One of the two.
So it's a humid night in Dallas or a snowy night in Denver.
Well,
I
any
don't
night in Denver.
But then can we add the snow to make it even?
Oh, we played in Dallas in the afternoon. We played at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Oh, or you could, if you want to go back to old school MLS, can you do it in a rainy day or rainy night in Naperville, Illinois?
Oh no, that was awful.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah, that was awful. Remember the changing room?
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
It was awful.
So if we go back, that would be it.
I mean, there's plenty to pick from, but yeah, that wasn't a lot of fun. It was turf, and it was the bad turf, and I think it was a Division III college or university, something like that. It wasn't fun.
Did you ever do it on a rainy night in Stoke?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. Won a cup semi-final.
There you
Stoke
go.
On a rainy night on a Tuesday.
Not good at booking colonoscopies, excellent at getting it done on a rainy night in Stoke.
Absolutely.
Why would anybody let you book the colonoscopy?
I thought we were done with that.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask Frank a quick question, because the next question is for Ale. Frank, did you ever do it on a rainy night in Stoke?
Yes, in fact, the quarterfinal of the FA Cup against Liverpool at Chelsea, and it was a typical English weather with a very bad grass at Stamford Bridge at the time, and that was one of the best, in fact, result and evening for the Blues, because we were losing 2-0 and we won 4-2. Great atmosphere. That was a very rainy night in Stoke, let's say, but at the end of the day, it was quite a memory.
which part of this has got anything to do with Stoke?
They're just the MLS version of doing it.
Oh, all right.
All right?
Okay. You okay with that?
Well,
Yeah.
He's been running the show today.
I know.
He's been asking questions.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Stamford Bridge, when Frank was there, and it was the bit of rain, was particularly bad.
But the Stamford Bridge isn't in Stoke.
Well, geography is a problem.
I'm trying to play along with it, if you don't mind.
I think you've got a
you've
bit
just-
rogue on tonight's show, to be honest.
I'm trying to play along with this whole facade, and you've just
You just
got your smarty pants on again for the second time.
What else did he do, LA? He started asking Jules questions.
Yes, he provided magic, a little bit of yes. What is it that
Been a busy night.
a wave of magic, and this is what he referred to.
In the Real Madrid game.
You put it if you want.
No. You're an integral part of the show, Stevie. For LA, do you still have Barcelona winning La Liga? Madrid have never lost the title after winning their first 5 matches.
Yes, I do. I still have Barcelona winning the league simply because of the situation that we're going through right now with Real Madrid. They have no answer for the absence of Karim Benzema. It may be Rodrigo, it is not in Hazard, and they don't have a lot of options in terms of depth in the attacking half coming off the bench. Barcelona has a lot of that. The only question for Barcelona is, can they make it work? Can all this group of players make it work? Seemingly, over the last few weeks, it looks like they figure it out. So Barcelona long term seems like a safer bet than Real Madrid, even though Real Madrid has proven that they are indeed the team to beat. I still think Barcelona wins it.
There you go, sticking with that one. Frank, who will have a bigger impact with Brazil at the World Cup this year, Neymar or Vinicius?
Oh, that's a hard question. On top of it, they play almost the same position, you know, normally. The natural position, they're the same position. So, but I'm sure they're both gonna play. It's still, well, it's soon, yeah. I almost say a mistake, you know, saying that it's in June. But yeah, it's soon. They're both on fire right now. And I've been a lot of time critical towards Neymar throughout the past years, that I will have to give him some credit. What I see from him from the beginning of the season is what we saw when he was playing for Barcelona, and we never seen since he signed for Paris. So he's on fire. Hopefully for him and Brazil, it's going to be the same during the World Cup. And if he's the same, I think I will have to bet on him.
Neymar or Vinny, biggest impact?
I'll go Neymar.
The impact of both is related to the performance of the other. So Neymar's impact will be bigger if Vinicius is playing well. And if Neymar is playing well, then Vinicius' impact is going to be bigger as well. I think they depend very heavily on each other. I thought today of all days you would have figured that out.
Today's like...
So if Vinny plays well, Neymar will play well. But if Neymar plays well, Vinny will play well.
Yeah.
So who else is going to play well if they both play well?
Yeah, I agree with Stevie.
What, can only one play?
No, my point is, let me explain it so that you understand this, Stevie. If Neymar is playing well, then he's going to attract a lot of...
Vinny's going to play well.
If Neymar is playing well, then he's going to attract attention, which then frees up Vinicius to do the things that he does naturally.
Right.
If Vinicius is playing well, that's going to attract attention. It's going to give Neymar more space. That's all I'm saying. They're going to depend on each other.
If a tree falls in the... Right, for LA, what's Vinny Jr.'s ceiling?
Well, let's ask Stevie.
Well, you better ask Neymar. Well, it depends on Neymar. Because if Neymar plays well, Vinny's ceiling goes higher, right? But if Neymar's not playing well, then Vinny's ceiling's lower. So it depends on Neymar.
You know,
right?
Stevie, all I was trying to do was to be understanding of the mood that you were in today, but apparently...
Well, it's logic. It's a logical answer.
It is a
Depends
logical
on
answer.
Neymar.
I think Vinny Jr.'s ceiling is much higher now than what it was a couple of seasons ago. And he has forced that ceiling to go higher and higher, given his growth and his maturity.
Is that all right by you?
Especially if Neymar plays well.
Stevie, do you think the stoppage of the Prem will help Liverpool with the players they have coming back from injury and for them to find themselves again?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's a horrible thing to happen and a tragedy, obviously, for the Windsor family. But for Liverpool, it's just pull the air out it and just
Time to pause.
Just have a little rethink on what you can do better, which is a lot of things, and how you can get everything back to some sort of normality. So yeah, the fact that they didn't have to play this
For Chelsea
weekend
as well.
is huge. Yeah, Chelsea as well fall into the very same category.
And it gives them time to work, which is
Get some
what
things done. Yep.
which is what Klopp would have been short on. It's time to figure out, okay, he talked about reinventing Liverpool after the last game. Well, this gives him time to try at the very least to sort of head in that direction, which he didn't have before.
Frank, every time I check my football scores app, Ligue always has multiple red cards. There's been 31 total red cards, including the 2 today. Is this normal, or are French footballers just angry?
Oh.
No, it's been asked from the Ligue 1 board, the LFP, for referees to be more strict or stricter in a way of what you can see, especially in the 18-yard box and also on fouls and everything. So it's been a question mark, and it's been a debate in France as well. You know, whether referee were too strict or if they should let it go a little bit more. I think it's always like that. Every 5 years, we suddenly have somebody who say, well, you know, we have to be strict, and few more months after, that disappeared. So it's not a tough league. It's a Latin one, so you have lots of cheaters as well. But you have players who can be dirty at some point, but it's not, let's say, strict. Dirtier than any other league, more difficult than any other league. It's just something the referee decided to go, but it's going to go away and fade away very, very soon.
After Juve's game today, maybe Serie A have caught up with all the red cards that were dished out in that game. Why are you laughing?
I just find it amazing that not just France, but everywhere, for some reason, the authorities that have referees come up with things they're going to do. You know, in MLS, it used to happen all the time. We'd get an email from the league saying, this year, the referees are going to do this. And we're like, why?
I like the voice that you used to do it this year.
Honestly, but it's almost like every year they're like, right, what can we do? You know, oh, I know what we'll do. Let's be a lot
Where is that
stricter.
sarcastic mood coming from, Stevie, today?
I'm not. No. I've been left in the house on my own talking to the dog basically for a fortnight.
I feel like
So I think that's what it might be.
you're the version of the player who wears bright pink boots on the pitch today.
Wow.
Is that good?
And maybe has like a really cool hairstyle,
Wow.
you know.
Wow. She basically called you Neymar today. That's what you have
But
been
that's
in
not a
this
bad
show.
thing, especially if Vinny's around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when Vinny plays well, then Neymar can play well
I
too.
wouldn't mind his bank balance. I don't know what the rest is.
Are we allowed to share a little bit, if not the actual text, of how your voice message translated Stevie's?
Right. So Stevie called me last night, left a message, but my phone, as I'm sure other phones do, they transcribe the message. So it shows up as a text. I open up the text and it makes no sense. And I mean 0 sense. So I had 2 options. 2 thoughts crossed my mind. The first thought, I must admit, well, Stevie's alone. Maybe a couple of beers are included here. Maybe, I'm just saying history tells us that maybe the sense doesn't make sense because it has been a good night for Stevie. But I thought, you know, Stevie told me that he was looking out after himself, that he was going through a healthy streak.
Correct. And you are correct again.
Okay. Turns out that I then listened to the message and it is Stevie talking and he is making sense. Clearly, the machine that is, however this works, that they're transcribing the message, has not had the experience with Scottish accent.
Can you imagine, right, in our house, what it's like whenever we have to talk to Alexa, or you know, you get the TV thing, you try and get. I mean, on a Saturday, it drives me insane. I'll be like, Liverpool versus Manchester United, and some nonsense will come up, And I can't even get the programme.
Here we go.
Seriously?
This
Careful.
is the transcription. Hi, Seth. First problem. Hi, Seth. You know we do, and so sorry. I let you know you said within their side itself against was just the Champions League. Hey, final, cause when the away their house they said was good. Absolutely, brothers gonna. That was the message that came on my phone. Now you have to imagine that when I thought of Stevie and I saw this message, he would not have been in good shape.
No,
No, it's Alexa all over again.
I know. Poor Seth.
Yeah. And where did Seth come from?
Seth had no idea. All right. What are the panel's sitting position on the bus during their playing days? So the other day on Extra Time, we got to chatting where players, our ex-players, sat on the team bus. So I'll start with you, Frank. Where did you sit on the team bus when you were a player?
I think it was in the middle of the bus, never at the back, because at the time the guy was smoking at the back, so it was smoky, and but never, and I never liked, you know, like in class, you know, when you sit on the first bench, it's like you want to be the professor's son, or you know, the favorites and everything. So I never wanted to be close to the coach as well. So sitting in the middle of the bus was the right position for me.
Same as Craig Burley, somewhere in the middle. His was for the card games, but you'll know that, Frank, anyway. Ale?
Yeah.
It was back of the bus for me. I was not smoking, but I enjoy being in the back of the bus.
Are you one of the cool kids?
No, I was more of the quiet kid, but every once in a while it was nice to be in the mix of the cool kids. So we just dip in every once in a while, participate, but then I would say, when I say it's not the very back, probably a couple of seats from the back. And then whenever we rode in buses that were double-deckers, we had that a lot in South America, I would like to be obviously in the second floor, but at the front of the bus, where I actually know where I'm going, because I tend to get a little dizzy if I'm sitting in the back in the double bus. I don't know why. Yeah, so I like to see where I'm going.
So if there's a double bus at the front, if
Yes.
it was a normal bus at the back.
Yeah, because in the double bus, in the double decker, the coaches would be sitting down below. So you're no longer concerned about being perceived a coach's pet, if you will, if you're sitting close to them. So now you can sit at the front and actually see where you're going.
So see, Shaka's way of thinking was, like you, near enough to the back that you can get involved if they're fun if you want to, but also decide to be out of it.
You don't have to be fully associated with what's going on in the back. You can participate, laugh about it, but if the back gets in trouble, hey, I don't know what these guys are doing over there.
Where were you, Stevie?
So there was two bosses. There was the game day boss, or the team boss going to a game, or training. Because we used to travel from the ground to the training ground every day. So on the training ground, I was always 2 rows in front of the back seat.
Okay.
And I always sat generally next to Steve Highway, who was one of the coaches. And then on the game day boss, I would be. Sometimes I would play cards, if they let me, because I wasn't very good. I used to play hearts. And if not, I would be across on the other table, just eating Chris and drinking Coke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is the game day bus?
The game day bus.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no, beg your pardon. No, this was travelling on a Friday.
Oh.
Right.
Travelling on a Friday to the game.
Okay.
But the coaches always had the tables in the middle, which is why the card players would be in the middle, right?
Well, no, because our game day.
Because a lot of them now have tables on every seat, right?
The bus we had, the 2 tables were towards the back, because the toilets were always
Almost
at the back.
Right.
Yeah.
So in front of the toilets, there was always a table one side and a table on the other side. So it was kind of backish without being at the back.
Right. So both of you quite near the back, but not quite at the back. All right. Ale, do you think it's awkward at Barcelona with players like Piqué and Alba being benched by a former teammate in Xavi, who is now the coach?
Yeah, it's a touchy situation, but I think having been teammates would allow for there to be a relationship where you can be very straightforward with the players and very honest with the players. Now, I'm not certain as to how Xavi has been able to do this, but it seems like he has been very clear and has not gone back on his word or whatever was communicated to Jordi Alba and Gerard Piqué. And seemingly, because the team is winning, this transition has been as smooth as you possibly could have hoped for if you're Barcelona and Xavi. Now, if you're Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba and all the success that you've had with this club, you're sitting there, you're taking in the information, you don't have to like it, but at the end of the day, this is the man that is making the decisions, and you have to respect it. And you have to move forward and be ready, because there's going to be opportunities for you to play, given that injuries do happen. But it is a touchy situation when you have had a relationship that goes beyond a coach or an assistant coach. When it's actually a former teammate and somebody that you know closely, and now that guy's telling you you're not playing, it can feel like a personal shot, even though in the end it's not.
It depends big time on the players.
Because you've had experience of this.
Yeah. Well, because players don't understand that the manager's picking a team, A, to win a game, but he's picking a team, and he has to pick the team that he thinks is going to win for a whole host of reasons. He's got a responsibility to all the players in the squad. He's got a responsibility to the owners, to the board. He's got a responsibility to the fans. So regardless of whether you're friends or former colleagues or whatever it is, Xavi's picking the team for those reasons, all of those reasons. And it has nothing to do with any personal relationship. And if I'm Xavi, you sit those players down and you tell them that, because it's important they know that. Then there's no doubt if they don't like it, then that's on them. There's no doubt where the problem is now, because he's explained the reasons that he makes decisions, and they're part of his decision making, and these are why he does it. So as long as they accept that, which you have to assume they'll respect them, but as long as they're mature enough to understand the reasons behind it, then it'll be fine. But as I said, the one thing from Xavi's point is if they become a pest or a bad influence or negative, it's on them. It's not on him.
The issue on players in general is that they're not thinking about all the variables that Stevie just mentioned. You're thinking about number one. You're thinking about yourself and how Xavi's decision affects you, not everybody else, you. And it's difficult to get beyond that and to see a bigger picture, because particularly when you have so much success with a club and you've been a critical part to that success, and now you're being told it's not your time anymore, your time has passed. That's difficult to accept.
I had it with a player at the Revs who, when I was the assistant, we always used to have a very good laugh and carry on and the whole thing. And then when I got the manager's job, a period of time later, I dropped him. And it was the first thing he said to me. He came in my office and he said, I thought we were mates. I thought we would. And I was like, I said, it's got nothing to do with that. And I explained everything I just told you. I said, this is why I pick a team. And right now, I'm not picking you because of blah, blah, blah. And he got it. And that was the end of it. Because he understood now what was going on.
So he got it.
Yeah.
Did you have that experience ever, Frank?
Yes, I did with Gianluca Vialli. He signed the same time as I did for Chelsea, and a year and a half after, he took charge of the team and became for his first time a coach. And it was very hard because, well, we were very close to each other. He spent even Christmas at home, so we were like two big friends. And as soon as he got in charge, he took the distance he needed to do, and I understood that. But as Stevie said, he never explained anything. He just became critical towards, the way we were living our lives, where I was spending most of the time with him. So we didn't understand, and many players, with me, without naming them, didn't get what he was doing. And at the end of the day, we won trophies with him, but the relationship weren't the same. He never explained what he wanted to do. It was, even when we won the Cup Winners' Cup final, it was how to say, he wasn't happy, he wasn't laughing, he wasn't sharing with us. So the distance was so big that at the end of the day, we didn't have any relationship. So it's very hard because you want to talk. He was your friend and you don't understand because he takes something in charge that he has to be completely different. It can be different, of course, but it doesn't need to be completely different. I think if you are frank, honest, it's much better in that situation because it can be clear to both sides.
He's definitely Frank.
Yeah. Well, no. Yes, he is Frank. Yes.
He's definitely Frank.
Yes. He is. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm
he's
Frank.
Frank Leboeuf, not
I'm
Frank Honest.
There you go.
Right. For Frank, let's be frank. What is your expectation for Chelsea this season?
Well, the first four position, that will be okay. That's it. I don't ask them to win anything. The beginning of the season wasn't good, and with the World Cup in the middle, it's going to be another break, and it's going to be a very tough season for everybody. And I think Stevie is thinking the same. But if at least they can get the first four position to get into Champions League next season, that would be fine.
Yeah. It's kind of the same as when Frank Lampard got the job. That was the only thing.
Another Frank.
How many Franks are you going to bring in?
Tell you what, I didn't mean that at all.
Go on anyway. Right.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, to be frank.
Maybe. All right, that will do it for the latest edition. Thank you so much for your questions. Thanks for the fun. Thanks to Frank.
Oh, happy belated birthday! Yes.
Stevie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's so
Just
cute.
need to go and see if the keys are in my bag so I can get home.
Oh.
Did we do the Born in the Zoo and all that, or did we do it normally?
The bumps.
What are you talking about?
Singing happy birthday.
You want to sing happy birthday?
No, did we do the normal one, or is it you were born in a zoo? No, it isn't.
I have
All right,
no
forget
idea
it,
what you're
forget it.
talking
Hey,
about.
happy birthday.
No idea what you're talking
Let's
about.
end it there, shall we? Thank you so much
Get
for
the
being with us.
translation.
I'll send it
Ali,
on
get
my
the
phone.
translation.
I'll send you a message on my phone and you can read it.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.